Hello everyone, my name is Eric. I'm a limited licensed master social worker and psychotherapist. I've been working with children, youth, and adults for 10 years. Let me ask you something. Do you consider yourself a wise person? Are you forever seeking new knowledge, insight of yourself, a deeper understanding of those around you, or maybe knowledge of the world, or even how the universe works? You're not alone. Philosophers and seekers throughout the ages have embodied this quest for gnosis, for knowledge, for understanding. And they've embarked on an infinite number of paths, all leading in the same direction, towards the same goal. Some have claimed to have reached their destination, others have perished along the path, and many have admitted defeat and sufficed to submit to the power of the universal plan without feeling the need to understand it. This video is not about philosophy. It's about the unfortunate qualities which human beings possess that inevitably lead them to their own mental prison. All of us desire to know in some way, but those who take the desire to know to the extreme actually end up knowing nothing of importance. This is a story of how smart people can turn themselves into very, very ignorant people, and how the desire for knowledge and understanding can ultimately lead to disorganization, disorientation, and, even in the worst cases, psychosis. Stick around, seekers. There may be something here for you. For everyone else, please enjoy and leave a comment in the comment section below. Manly P. Hall wrote, Plato taught by his example that man possesses within himself the power to cure the diseases of his body, that in the end, every man is his own priest, and every man his own physician. Wisdom is a universal medicine, and the only remedy for ignorance, the great sickness of mankind. I work with people who are desperately in search of themselves. So desperate, in fact, that they must seek psychotherapy to make progress in this endeavor. But I only frame this in such a way to emphasize the way that we generally view psychotherapy, not only as men, but as a society overall. Lots of men see going to therapy as weak. They associate going to therapy with being damaged, defeated, inadequate, embarrassing, or it being a cringe, beta cuck male behavior. But these men who do not need therapy do not fully understand others, or the world, or themselves. They still yearn for understanding, yet they will not let themselves be understood by another. They will not ask for help. They simply have too much pride. Obviously, the hunger in all of us will not be satisfied if we remain idle. We must conduct our search elsewhere. We read books on philosophy, religion, occultism, psychology, economics. We watch countless hours of content on YouTube hoping to find that nugget of wisdom in a video created by someone we respect, someone successful, someone who has it all figured out. Unfortunately, it is this pathological search for wisdom that can actually lead us astray. The internet is full of smart people, truly smart people, and also people who are wildly narcissistic and blindly delusional, which often masquerades as intelligence. We all agree with the common sentiment that genius and insanity are two sides of the same coin. Our most brilliant minds were also some of the most plagued by demons in all of history. It should therefore be recognized that being smart does not preclude you from being mentally ill. This is a terribly hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, especially on the internet. A large majority of the people on these social media platforms, or at least the ones making videos and leaving comments, have very obvious narcissistic traits and self-estimate their intelligence as naturally higher than others. Thankfully, most of the people that I serve in my practice are kept on the path to true understanding by a couple qualities that seem to hardly exist online. Those qualities are humility and temperance. A truly wise person does not just know things, and wise people know this. True wisdom becomes apparent through the ability to admit when one is wrong and the ability to exercise self-control. A person who is wise does not seek the accumulation of facts or the accumulation of goods, nor does a wise person act impulsively in response to sensations or perceptions without at least a bit of proper self-reflection first. We simply do not see these traits online. Our online culture is one of instant gratification, inability to concentrate, minimal attention span, quick to anger, quick to respond, quick to click off, click the new thing, click the short thing, click through the long thing, click, click, click. We have philosophers on the platform that will tell you that everyone is stupid, a vast and grandiose overgeneralization and devaluation of others based on self-perceptions of inadequacy, basically narcissism. They will tell you that the world is not designed for you to succeed, a doomer outlook propagated by those who have not lived up to their own idealized self-image and use projections as a primary defensive strategy as a means of understanding themselves and the world. They will tell you that therapy is useless and instead you should invest in their coaching program. Coaching itself is not necessarily a bad thing, but it is also not a replacement for psychotherapy. They are fundamentally different, and those struggling with psychiatric conditions have no need for coaching, because they don't need someone else to tell them how they should be living their life. They need to be heard, understood, and supported. They will tell you that relationships are a waste of time. They will tell you that the only way to enjoy this life is to fall for the short-sighted, materialist, consumerist philosophy that the rest of the sheep have already blindly accepted. All of this has some truth in it, by the way, but none of it is completely true, which is where these people come up short in their quest for wisdom. They fall short of the humility and temperance that are necessary for discriminating between what is genuinely wise and what are conceited, narcissistic delusions that, at worst, border on psychosis. I do want to explain this distinction clinically because I think it's important. When we think about psychosis, we commonly think of people with schizophrenia who are locked up in a psych ward and put into straitjackets. Unfortunately, this severely limits our understanding of what true psychosis is. Psychosis can be overt, as in the example of the schizophrenic patient in the psych ward, or it can be subtle, in which cases people mostly suffer from delusions and not so much hallucinations. People can be so delusional that they can be given a diagnosis of a delusional disorder, which is commonly specified by a type of delusion, which includes one of the following: erotomanic, which is the belief that someone is in love with the delusional person; persecutory, the belief that someone or something is out to get the delusional person; grandiose, the belief that the delusional person is better than others or has significant unrealized talents; jealous, the belief that a romantic partner is being unfaithful despite no evidence; and somatic, which can relate to physical sensations that have no biological or environmental origin. Delusions generally become clinically significant when there is a distinct level of fear that accompanies them, but the absence of fear does not mean the absence of delusion. You all know people that you would consider delusional, because a delusion is defined as a fixed false belief that is not amenable to change despite evidence to the contrary. People will defend their beliefs to the death, and this, in a lot of cases, is unfortunately very delusional. But it's also normal, because our culture has stopped caring about the truth. We simply can't be bothered enough to help people see reality for what it is. They'll figure it out on their own, or they'll suffer the consequences. What must be understood is that, from a psychiatric perspective, the belief that this world is run by PDF files. Why should I pay taxes if it's just going to go to funding wars and PDF files? And why should I work a job if I'll never be able to get ahead? Is a delusion. Not because there's no truth in it, but because it's only partly true. If we're talking about people who run the world, we're assuming that it's the richest people on Earth, of which there may be among them a statistically significant amount of PDF files or antisocial, psychopathic behavior, but does being counted among this group of people who run the world begin and end with how much money one makes? Our tax dollars fund so many other major federal and state level programs that it is another vast overgeneralization to claim that all they do is fund wars with our money. And the belief that you'll never get ahead is a self-centered projection of feelings of inferiority and depression, not an accurate reflection of how many opportunities are truly out there in the world. Success is subjective and defined differently by everyone. It has no inherent monetary requirement. If you do not feel successful, you either have a very misguided belief of what success is, and that needs to be changed, Or you have fallen so much into depression and self-loathing that hard work and dedication to achieving a goal have become meaningless and ultimately pointless endeavors. I'm not here to make the case for why we have people like Jeffrey Epstein or Elon Musk or Donald Trump. I'm not trying to convince you that those things aren't real and that there are truly terrible people who get ahead in this world through unscrupulous behavior. What I'm saying is that what is within your control in your life is determined by your perceptions and your projections. The more knowledge of this world that you seek and accumulate, the more you open yourself up to the possibility of delusion. Again, wisdom is not the accumulation of facts. It is not having a high IQ, or seemingly more important, a high subscriber count. Ultimately, being smart or intelligent can lead us to being socially outcast, because it comes as no surprise to find out that most people don't like narcissistic know-it-all types of people that believe themselves superior to everyone else. That type of personality is an immediate turnoff for most people, and we pretty much relegate them socially to the confines of online forums like Reddit or the YouTube comment section. In real life, they feel like they don't succeed because the world isn't designed for them, when in reality, they have not been able to adequately adjust to the world. I have worked with people who, after months of hard work and dedication, have been able to recognize their narcissism for what it is, confront their delusions, and change their behaviors towards others, and seriously improve their relationships with their families and friends. This is what psychotherapy is supposed to do, and this is what it can do for anyone who asks for help. But if your grandiose, delusional self is preventing you from asking for help, you can easily fall victim to the grift that people online with high subscriber counts know something about the world that you don't. The most unfortunate consequence of this is that you end up becoming entrenched in a belief system that does not support your development. You only make yourself more insufferable to be around. It makes people not want to associate with you, which only serves to isolate you even more, conditioning you to believe that being intelligent means being a black sheep in the world, and that isolation is just a consequence of being wise. It isn't. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Next week, we'll be talking about major depressive disorder and doing a deep dive into the depressive personality. Interesting stuff, really, because these two subjects relate and overlap quite a bit, even though on the surface they may seem completely unrelated. Thank you for stopping by, and thanks again for your support. I remain eternally grateful. Until next time.